Hi, this is Outlaw Bookseller. This is a short clip about one of my favourite books, Climbers by M. John Harrison, who is best known as one of the godfathers of dark British space opera, new wave literary SF, and the amazing fantasy novels in the Draconum sequence, amongst many other things. And this is about his novel Climbers, published in 1989, and this is a first edition published by Gollancz. And as it says on the cover, sheer brilliance, Ian M. Banks, and he's absolutely right. This is M. John's purest work of mainstream fiction, and it's signed there. And I had M. John to a bookshop event with me way back in '89 when this came out, and also we had Gary Kilworth on the same night, another great writer I'll talk about another time. And I will talk about M. John Harrison in a much more extensive way in a future video, but this is just about Climbers. And what I love about Climbers is that it's a book about obsession. Mike did lots of fell running and rock climbing when he was younger. I don't think he can anymore because he's moving on in years now, but he still looks fantastic. He's such a cool guy. And there he is. And as I say, it's a book about obsession. It's about what draws people together. And the protagonists of Climbers are, I think it's 4 men who are from very different backgrounds, and they come together to share their hobby, which is climbing, and it's absolutely wonderful. I mean, I'm not that outdoorsy, I'm not sporty at all. I do like being outdoors, I do like walking. I grew up in the country, so I have a natural affinity with it. This is a fantastic novel about obsession and what draws people together. And what's interesting about this is that it won the Boardman Tasker Award for mountaineering literature, and this was the first novel to win that award, and I think it's the only novel that's ever won it. The only other novel I've read about climbing is Solo Faces by James Salter, which is fantastic, an American book, mostly set in the Alps, which has a very different sort of atmosphere, very chilly and spare. This is spare and gritty, a very British, but not in a parochial way, and I really recommend it. I put it in my book 100 must-read books for men, because I think it's a superb novel. And I do wish Mike had actually written more pure mainstream novels like this, because he is such a very fine writer. He recently won the Goldsmiths Prize, which is for advancing the cause of the novel into new areas, taking it into new directions, and he won that for his most recent book, The Sunken Land Will Rise Again. So good news for Mike there. And Climbers, superb novel. Something I've got here is a press pack from that time, which I haven't looked at for many years, so I'm going to open that for you now. So this is for the ephemera fans and fans of New Wave SF and Mike, and actually it's got this lace on it, which I think is meant to sort of look like the lace on your climbing boots, so it's fluorescent. So I'm just going to peel this back, because I've not looked at this for years and years and years, and I've had this since '89, so it's 32 years old. So I'm just going to open that up gently there and peel that back. I'm a bit concerned about actually getting it back in, because I think the end, yeah, as you see, one end there is frayed because it's missing the little bit that holds it together. So I'm going to be careful about this. So I'm not going to open it entirely, I'm just going to try and fish things out from inside. And inside there, what have we got? Well, this looks like a pristine, unused dust jacket for the book, which it is, because as you see, mine has got a bit of a faded spine, so I might repurpose this. That's great to see, actually. $12.95 in the royal format. There it is. That's how it should look. Spine on mine's rather faded. We'll have a quick look at that again. So yeah, look at that. Shocking. You should look after your books more, Andrew. It's really terrible. So jacket in there. I say this is a press pack, so this would have gone out to reviewers and what have you. And Gollancz really got behind this. And in here we've got, look at this, a little AI advanced information sheet with some of the artwork from the cover on it. Just photocopied as we did in those days, and a Climbers book promotional bookmark, and it tells you there's going to be author publicity, national newspaper coverage, interviews in specialist climbing magazines, published on the 7th of September 1989. Rather plain bookmark, quote by Ian Banks, who was a huge fan of M. John's work. Let's just see what else is in here. So there's also, oh, this is nice. Gosh, I'd completely forgotten about this. There's, oh yeah, I've got a feeling that this wasn't in the pack, that I just popped this in here. This is the cover of Publishing News from June the 2nd, '89, which has got a big ad there for climbers. And if you look above, you see, there we go, there's some coverage of a protest against the satanic verses, which was all happening back then as well. Publishing News is now defunct. It was weekly. As you see, it was a sort of a newspaper format, a sort of large bedsheet type newspaper format, now defunct. So that, I must have just popped that in. But well, having said that, interesting. So maybe it was included. So what have I cut off there? Who can say? So I'm not sure if that was involved originally or not. Also inside we have, let's see, we have just more AA, more advanced information. Like I say, I'm a bit dubious about taking all this out. If I can just get that one through, because I can pop that back through again, then that will probably help a little bit. So pull that out there. So this is the sort of thing you would have got from a publisher when you worked in a bookshop. This obviously came to me, tells you all about the publicity, the press, television, radio, literary luncheon, New Yorkshire Post promotion. Of course, you know, now it's all sort of done online. There's a letter from Malcolm Edwards, who managed Gollancz at the time, big SF fan, Malcolm as well. And biographical details for M. John. And an extract from the book, which is stapled. Look at that. Good old school stuff. So that's what you would have got if you worked in a bookshop back in the day. Of course, most of these things just get chucked out. And, you know, I've had many similar things over the years, and you don't always get them for your favourite writers. You know, they're often for people you're not interested in. And of course, this is ephemera. The nature of it is it's ephemeral. It gets thrown away. Nobody's interested in it. You know, it's just hardcore collectors that keep stuff like this. So so there we go. So that's Climbers by M. John Harrison, the press pack and the book. If you haven't read it, I recommend this book to anybody who likes well-written literary fiction. It's not difficult to read. It's all about obsession, what binds you together. If you love outdoor activities, you really, really dig it. Even if you don't, you love it. Fantastic book.